Playoff final, Aston Villa against Fulham. I'll be there on Saturday. The most lucrative game in world football. 170 million if you get up. And if you stay up for a season, it's estimated minimum 280. Is
that right?
Sponsorships, endorsements, all the rest of it staying up. And then obviously the parachute payments, worst case scenario for the following 3 years. So stay up, which all three teams did last year, Brighton, Huddersfield and Newcastle. 280 million.
I saw if Liverpool win the Champions League, for everything they've done in the Champions League, they'll still have made 80 million less than Newcastle get for finishing 10th.
It's madness, isn't it?
Yeah, remember the Champions League used to be like everything? Yeah. So I saw you were very angry watching the Aston Villa semi-final second leg.
A few people have said that. I didn't think
I thought you were spot on though.
Angry, was I? Yeah, I had a few texts about that and I was thinking, and I watched it back and I was quite happy with what I said.
No, it was brilliant.
So Villa over 2 legs against Middlesbrough, tactically superb. So they know I'm talking about Marcelo sacrificing his game for the greater good. Well, Villa did that. Big time did that against. So Traore, who plays for Middlesbrough, speed, lightning, pace, powered a lot. He was their game plan. And that didn't work out because Alan Hutton and 2-3 players around them slowed him down, nullified him. Middlesbrough didn't have anything else. But Villa were tactically brilliant. The way they done that, they nicked a goal away from home, sat in, comfortable second leg. For them to beat Fulham in the final on Saturday, they're going to have to play probably their best game of the season. If Fulham turn up to beat them, because Fulham it's a clash of experienced campaigners versus inexperienced.
Who are the experienced?
Villa. By a mile.
The Alan Hutton types.
Alan Hutton, John Terry. Sessegnon, you heard of Sessegnon, obviously, turned 18 last Friday.
I haven't seen him, I've heard a lot about him.
He was 2 days old when John Terry was on the bench for an FA Cup final. So to put it into context about the experience versus the inexperience, he's a very, very exciting talent. He's got 15 goals this season, scored in the second leg against Derby County. And it's a clash of styles as well. Fulham had the most possession in the whole league, most passes, even more so than Wolves. And then Villa, for me, to give you an idea of what Villa have been like throughout the season, there hasn't been one talisman, there's been a few. So Grealish, since Christmas, has been top-notch. Snodgrass, creativity, delivery, goals, assists, but they've all taken it in turns. Albert Adoma from the left-hand side, he's got a lot of goals. He's a little bit offered at the moment. Conor Horan's had a really good season. 11 championship goals. And he's a very solid citizen in amongst all that.
I'm a little bit torn because I hear great things about Fulham and I like Craven Cottage and I wouldn't mind them back in the Premier League at all. And yet, even though Jack Grealish has kind of made his decision and everything, I do have a residual interest in him. I want to see how good he can become because there was a period when he first burst in the scene where he looked amazing, that FA Cup semi-final and a few games. And I keep hearing he's been brilliant for Villa since Christmas, that he's playing in the number 10 role now as opposed to out in the wing. And even Steve Bruce was making the point that, like, okay, this guy went a bit off the rails, but it was a bad time to be at this club. He had 5 different managers. It wasn't a good dressing room. And now he's got his head screwed back on. And, I'm kind of curious to see how he does in the Premier League.
So only 22.
I'm a little bit torn. Now, I know lots of people watching will say, who cares what Jack Grealish does? But personally, I'm a little bit interested.
Take his decision in terms of not wanting to declare for us, despite having played all the way through. Take that out of the equation and look at him as a footballer. You're right. The reason he hasn't progressed to now is because of his off-pitch, day-to-day life. And a big part of that was the dressing room at Aston Villa. So, by all accounts, and it sounds like it was a bit of a throwback, the culture within the dressing room was toxic, really was toxic. And I think that's where Steve Bruce deserves a lot of credit for eventually managing to get those type of individuals out of the dressing room, getting the right ones in, John Terry, Glenn Whelan, Jedinak, players that have played at a top level for a long, long time. Jack Grealish is looking at him and going, oh, this is how you are a professional footballer. This is how you play top Premier League football. This is how you act. This is how you be and make the most of yourself.
Isn't it interesting the Stoke dressing room has turned quite toxic when a Glenn Whelan type leaves?
John Walters.
I'm not saying it's all down to Glenn Whelan, but it's just kind of an interesting
They are one of my pet hates though, Joe. That football club has been one of my pet hates over the last 2 years when I've been commentating on Premier League games. So anytime I get Stoke over the last couple of years, I'm literally going, oh no, because of that very reason. The recruitment has been disgusting. They tried to get rid of the likes of Glenn Whelan, John Walters, Bardsley, every time try and put players in to their position, wouldn't work out. Who do they call upon? Come on, lads, back in. We haven't won in 6. Lads, get them back on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
Oh, let's take them back out again. Oh.
Every summer, Glenn Whelan was like, here comes another one.
Exactly.
Who's going up between Villa and Fulham then?
If Villa play to that, my only worry about them is the lack of experience playing. Only 2 of the starting 11, anticipated starting 11, have played at Wembley. Whether they can play in that type of magnitude to their capabilities, Villa need to ruin the game. Villa need to make it a spectacle that we're not going to enjoy watching. For them to have it, like, take your time, slow the tempo, slow the momentum down. They're the oldest starting 11 in the Championship. So, but they've had 10 days to prepare for this. They've had a little bit of breather, so they can produce it. Those players behind, Lewis Grabban plays up front, Grealish, Snodgrass, have to have massive games. But you can catch Fulham on the counter-attack. And defensively, they're vulnerable, and they're also vulnerable from set pieces and crosses, which Villa are very good at.
You've swung me back to Fulham, I have to say, based on
Have I?
Yeah.
I think they're the favourites. I haven't looked at odds, but I think they are the favourites if they can perform.
I just don't like the thought of Aston Villa's best chance is to ruin the game.
It is, in my opinion,
well, that'll be their best chance quite a bit next season as well if they get back to the Premier League. So,
but it would be nice to see a club like Villa back in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's a great stadium.
When we were growing up, it's a Premier League club, isn't it?